welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and what I imagine is going to be a chromatic festival today with a puzzle called Pallets and Palindromes by Eric Rathbun. Now this, I said to the testers that I sent them an email last night saying that I've had a lot of very, very hard puzzles over the last week or so. Did they have anything to suggest that's slightly simpler? And they said that this fits the bill beautifully. Apparently this is, I don't think it's easy by the way, but I think it shouldn't be absolutely monstrous, and it's got the right gorgeous quota. So I'm looking forward to trying it. I've tried a lot of Eric's puzzles before in the past. They've always been good. So I'm sure we're in for a treat. Now, I don't have much additional news today. Many of you have been doing amazingly well solving our duality pack over on Patreon. So I've got some more names to read out actually for successful solvers, which are coming in aplenty. So all of these following solvers have solved all 14 of the puzzles, which is quite brilliant. So well done to Peter Sputh, I think that's how you might say that, Mikhail Nazarchuk, Paul Wright, Stuart Tierney, Jens Pankoka, maybe, Andrea Pachera. By the way, if you do want me to get your name right and there's any doubt, then do tell me in the email you send us. David Clare, Johan Asplund, Joe Chang, John Kupilotes or Lotz, Tony van der Peet, Honor Fisher, Matthias Rang, Ben Taylor, Rob Frankham. So that's the next 15 names. I've got a lot more to read out, but I'm just going to do them in batches of 15 over the coming couple of weeks. I'm sure there's going to be 15 every day at this rate. It really is terrific, and the feedback. Well, to be honest, what I need to do is to say a massive thank you to the Sudoku Skunkworks who created the Duality pack, because the feedback has been universally positive, with loads of people saying this is the first time they've actually tried any of our Patreon rewards and they've loved it, and loads more saying this is the best thing we've ever published on Patreon, which is high praise indeed. So fantastic, Sudoku Skunkworks, you have done the Sudoku community proud. Other than that, I've got some birthdays to tell you about. Well, actually, let's start with an engagement, because Bella, I think you got engaged last weekend, and your mate Nick told us this and said that you might appreciate a shout out. Now, I do believe, Bella, that you are a big fan of Knight's Moves puzzles. I am sorry to have to tell you there is no Knight's Move constraint in Pallets and Palindromes, so I hope you can forgive us for that. But obviously, many congratulations on your big news. Now, Sam, down there in Australia now, your friends back in the US, Michael and Gonzalo, said that you'd like a shout out. I believe that you're all mathematicians, and Sam, you've just made your way to Oz to take up a postdoctoral post. So congratulations on the move and happy birthday for today. And then finally, Victor over there in Brazil. Victor, you've turned 23 today, and I know this because your girlfriend Bruna told me. So I hope you have lots of cake and a fantastic day as well. Now, is there anything else I need to tell you about? We haven't scheduled streaming yet. Mark's been very busy. His daughter Emma, who I should shout out, has her first day at university in Oxford today. So Emma, I hope it goes brilliantly well. You'll be brilliant, I've no doubt. And other than that, I've got nothing else to tell you. So let's get on with Pallets and Palindromes, and I will read you the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. In cages, digits sum to the small clue in the top left corner of the cage. Clues outside the cage, clues outside the grid give the sum of the digits along the indicated diagonal. So we've only got one of those clues. Those 3 digits sum to 16 is what we're being told there. Cells separated by a white dot contain consecutive digits. So those have got to be like, oh, I didn't mean to put 1 in both of them. If that was 1, that would have to be 2 to make sure they're consecutive. And cells separated by a black dot contain digits in a 1:2 ratio, i.e. one digit is double the other. So if this was a 2, that could be a 4, because 4 is double 2, or it could be a 1, because 2 is double 1. That's how black dots work. Now, grey lines are palindromes and must read the same forwards and backwards. That's why it's called Pallets and Palindromes. So we've got loads of palindromes in the grid. So what that's telling us is that basically those 2 digits have to be the same, and then those two digits have to be the same, and then that could be anything. So one way of filling this would be like this. And you can see now, if I read it starting here, it reads 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And if I read it starting here, it starts 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So it reads the same backwards and forwards. And that is the property of a palindrome. So do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And I'm just noticing there's an absolute plethora of 9 cages in this puzzle. All the cages are 9 cages. And one thing you cannot put in a 9 cage is a 9. So I'm going to start pencil marking 9s. Let's do that, because I can see that 9s have to be in these cells and these cells. And so one of 3 cells in box 1 now. Oh, right, there is a lot of symmetry. I should have appreciated that instantly, shouldn't I? But I didn't. So what I mean by symmetry is if you rotate this grid around 180 degrees, all of these 9 cages would end up there, mapping onto these other 9 cages. Now the palindromes also look like they rotate. Yeah, so there is... The thing that's breaking the symmetry then is the 16 clue outside the grid, and at least... Actually, well, yeah, some of the white dots don't seem... That white dot is mapping onto a black dot. That black dot is mapping onto a white dot. That white dot has no counterpart in its symmetrical position. So the symmetry is broken in the dottage, but otherwise it's very... We need to be on the lookout. Whenever we find one bit of logic in one part of the grid, we might be able to apply it in its symmetrically opposite position. I think my idea about 9s has not gone very well. So maybe it's palindromes. Right, those 2 digits are the same, and that means I'm going to colour them in the same colour. Those 2 digits are the same, so I'm going to colour them in the same colour. So purple is down there. This digit is the centre of its palindrome, so it's unrestricted. And right, this little palindrome here, there's an interesting thing about those 2 squares, which is not only that they have to be the same, but they cannot be yellow and purple, because this digit sees both yellow and purple. So this is a brand new digit on its palindrome. Now that is also a brand new digit on its palindrome. Look. Oh, hang on, I don't want to use that. I'll use blue. Because this cell sees the other 3 colours we've managed to plot so far. So blue, no. Yellow? No. Okay, I can't quite see how to tie these together yet. That digit... Ah! Okay, that digit and that digit are the same on this next palindrome. And if we look carefully about whether red can be any of the existing colours I've got in the grid, it can't be. And that's because red in this box sees yellow, green and blue, and this red sees purple. So far I've got 5 digits or 5 colours in the grid, and they represent 5 different digits. Now, what about that cell then? So that cell and that cell don't see purple, I don't think. So could the question I'm asking is, can those both be purple? What prevents that? Because if they can't both be purple, we can use another colour again. Unfortunately, I don't see immediately why they can't be purple. This is going to run out of legs as well, isn't it? Because these 2 cells really don't see many colours at all. That digit sees blue and red. Okay, so these digits here on this other palindrome, they see all 5 of the colours I've got in the grid, because that one sees red through the medium of column 5. So that is another new colour. So now I've got 6 colours in the grid. Those 2 digits? No, they don't see red, I don't think, and maybe not purple either. Oh, this is weird. So, where does red go in this box? Is that the question? Oh, it could, hang on. So blue and red are on black dots. Blue and red are on black dots. How does this work? You naughty puzzle. I think it might be to do with these black dots. Let's have a think about these. So, I'm wondering. Well, my first question in my mind, just to tell you what I'm thinking about, is whether these can be the same pairing. So imagine this was a 2-4 pair. Can that also be a 2-4 pair the other way round? And the thing is, I think it can, because that wouldn't be a deadly pattern. I'm all over deadly patterns after that extraordinary chameleon Sudoku that we did the other day. As Maverick flies past. Maverick, how I've missed you. I did this the other day, didn't I? Poll tax, how I love you, my dear old poll tax. That's Tom Lehrer. I want to go back to Dixie. I really am a fixin' to go home and start a mixin' down below that Mason-Dixon line. Poll tax, how I love you, Anyway, be quiet, Simon. Don't get distracted. No, this is not deadly because the white dots can differentiate whether this is, for example, a 2 or a 4. Imagine that there was no graphic in the grid. There were no dots, there was no palindromes. This pattern wouldn't be possible because there would be 2 solutions to the puzzle, because nothing about the puzzle's logic would tell us whether this was a 2 and this was a 2, or whether this was a 2 and this was a 2. But because we do have little white dots poking into this deadly pattern, it loses the mantle of being deadly. So I think these can be the same, and that would put effectively a black dot somewhere along. Well, no, it would put 2 black digits somewhere along here, but they wouldn't actually have to be in a domino. Good grief, is that Maverick Mark II, or is Maverick just circling over the house? Right. Oh, I'm on totally the wrong track here. Right. Okay. Right, I'm on totally the wrong track. And that is because it's not, well, it is a bit the black dots that are important, but it's actually the look, I'm actually wondering whether I need to uncolour what I've got here. I don't think I've got enough colours to show you what I'm about to show you. Maybe if I use the blacky grey ones, I can do it. No, I want to use nice, pretty colours. I'm going to use nice, pretty colours. So those 2 digits, I'm saying, are blue. Now, let's look at these 2 digits then. Those 2 digits are definitely not blue. But look, they are linked by a white dot here. Now this digit on this palindrome goes there and there, and it can't be blue and it can't be orange. So I'm going to make that one green. And then this one goes back here, and it can't be green, it can't be orange, and it can't be blue. So we've got a sort of a circle here of 4, well, it's a circle of 4 different digits, but I think the thing that's interesting me about this is that via a sequence of white dots, I end up on the other side of a black dot. So what I mean is, whatever this digit is, it must go through a transformation which is a consecutive, whatever blue is, orange is consecutive with blue. And then this can't be back to blue again, so this is, I'm not explaining this very well. Let's just make that 2 for a moment. then this, let's make that 3. Now what we can't do is go back to 2 again with green, because although we're looking for a digit that's consecutive with 3, we're not looking for 2 because we know that green sees 2 here, so we have to increase, which actually means this doesn't work. So this shows you what we need. So this potential pattern, which is absolutely forced, is telling us that those 2 digits are 3 apart, and there is only one black dot digit or black dot relationship in Sudoku where the digits are 3 apart, and that is 3 and 6. So that's 3 and 6, and that means these are 3 and 6. It means that we don't. No, it's a circle, but we don't know which way it goes. So we don't know whether this is 3 and this is therefore 4, or whether this is 6 and this is 5. So that's 4 or 5. That's 4 or 5. That's 4 or 5 going down or up, depending on which way we're going around the circle. And we've got, oh, this is why this is about 9s. Oh, this is really interesting, because now I'm saying that these patterns, these coloured dominoes that we're developing, definitely seem to be impacting 9 cages, don't they? Oh, this is gorgeous. Good grief, I was not expecting this at all. But look, it's the same this way round. This is a very unusual way to use dots, but it's really clever. Look, we've got the same on the outside palindrome. And it's exactly the same principle. Well, I should just check that these cells all need to be different. I think they do. Although, I'm just wondering now. Well, if these all do, this is going to be a 3-6 pair the other way round, isn't it? So that's quite cool. So let's just double check that the colours around the edge all have to be different. So yellow goes there. Then we'll make this black just quickly while I check this. So black is clearly different from yellow. Then we'll make this red. So that's red. Now, is red's different? Yes, red's different from yellow. It sees yellow in the column. It's different from black because it sees black in the box. And then this digit clearly is going to see, yes, and it sees black there. So right, so we can actually unwind this colouring. All of the digits on the white dots here have to be, they're palindromic. Well, they have to be different is the point, which means we can't be going up and down a cycle. We have to be going either all increasing or all decreasing, and that means these are 3 apart, which means they're 3-6, and we can colour them in, because that must be the purple one by Sudoku, that's the blue one by Sudoku. So this is 3-6, that's purple by palindrome. That then must be, well, that's the digit that attaches to purple in a circle, which is green. So this is so cool. That becomes green, that becomes green. So this circle goes round this way, and that circle goes round that way. So actually they're both going the same way round. But we don't know whether that's increasing or decreasing. And then, okay, so that's blue. This square has got to therefore be orange, so that square's got to be orange. These squares here are both 4s and 5s. And therefore, well, okay, so therefore I'm looking at that white dot immediately, because we can't be looking at a 4 or a 5 here because the 4 and the 5 have gone. So that must be the other side of blue, which is going to be 2 or 7. So that's probably going to need its own colour. What? Oh, that's the same. That's exactly the same. This white dot is telling us that it's consecutive with 3 or 6, but it can't be 4 or 5. So yes, okay, so I'm going to colour 2s and 7s now. I'll make that red and I'll make that yellow. I think that's right. That's the bottom 6 colours, which are the pretty ones. So if we need any more colouring, we're going to be into the greys and the blacks. Although I know Sven, the programmer we work with, has been busy creating all sorts of extra palettes which might come soon. Ah, that's on a palindrome, so that's red. That is on a white dot, so that can't be 4 or 5. So that is a yellow 2-7. Oh, this is so cool. So that's a yellow 2-7. So in a minute, I think we're going to be able to start colouring these 9 cages. That's presumably the next challenge for us. Oh, okay, where does orange 4-5 go in the middle box? And that's a good question because we've got 4 oranges looking at the middle box. So that's orange 4-5. Now by symmetry we might be able to do something with greens then. Yes, green has to go there. So green 4-5 gets placed in the middle box. This row, look, we've got everything in it apart from 1, 8 and 9 now. And that's going to be on a useful palindrome that's going to reflect there. Do I want to label that up? Maybe not until I know more about this square. Oh, I see. Yes, look, we're starting to get into the realms of 1/8s and 9s now, aren't we? So I'm going to have a 1/8 or a 9 there that's going to reflect here. Right, are there any white dots? I haven't used this white dot. I could do with knowing where the red 2-7 goes in the middle. Okay, so I think what we are going to have to do now is to think about... Well, think about the 9 cages, possibly. So how do we do that? We've got to put a 3-6 pair into one of those because of this 3-6, look. So one of those dominoes is a 3-6 pair, but I don't know which one it is, I don't think. The same is true of 4 and 5, look. Because we can't put green in any of those, one of these is a 4-5 pair and it's not this one. So we've got a 4-5 arrangement here. Now we know that the 4-5, we know the green 4-5 therefore, because the 4, if this was 4-5, the orange would be on top, we now know. So the green must be below, which means green is in one of those 2 cells. Oh, it's so close. If I could just get it here. Oh, no. I don't know. Oh, okay, what about this one? Sorry, I'm jumping around a bit here, but I'm seeing different things. This has to either be 1-8 or 2-7 because it sees a 4-5 and it sees a 3-6, so it couldn't be a 4-5 pair. And the same is true by symmetry up there, look, so that's got to be 1, 2, 7 or 8. Now, and presumably we've got some sort of symmetry broadly helping us to identify which ones of the... Like one of these has to be 4-5, which is going to be one of those cells. One of these has to be 3-6, which is going to be one of these cells. Oh, this is better. This is better. Look, neither of these, none of those can be 2-7. Because if any of these were 2-7, they would clash with this. So the 2-7 must be outside the cages. So this is 2-7-9 into those squares, which means that we have got a 1-8 pair in this top arrangement. So let's put that in. I mean, this is horrific pencil marking. Mark would be absolutely in paroxysms of joy. Now that's on a... that's 9. Because that's on a palindrome, look, and has to reflect there, where it can't be 2-7. So that is a 9, and that nearly allows us to colour our 2-7s in this box. Bobbins, right. So that's a yellow-red combination, but I don't think I can disambiguate it. That becomes 9 by palindrome. This must therefore be a 1-8 pair in that box. Which means that 9, look, has to be in one of those 2 cells by Sudoku. Can't go in a 9 cage because you can't put 0. in this box here. So what about 9 down there? It's in one of 2 places. Yeah, oh, this is getting really cluttered. 9 in box 9 is now locked into one of 2 places. So 9 can be on the palindrome here, because if it's on the palindrome it goes there, and that is a legitimate place for it in box 9. Right, this is this is close now, I think, to us actually getting somewhere useful. So this little cage is not 2-7 and it's not 4-5, so this is either 3-6 or it's 1-8. Now, can I do better than that? I'd love to be able to do better than that, but I don't see how to. No, I really don't see how to. Bother. Okay, let's try. I might have to do some even more aggressive pencil marking. This square's got to be 1, 8 or 9. So is this somehow helping me? This feels so close to tumbling now, doesn't it? It might be. I can put purple in there in the middle box. Right, so it might be the middle box which I've neglected. Can I get red in the middle? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean red. I didn't mean to say red. I meant to say blue being the other. Yeah, there are 4 blues looking in the middle box. And I'm guessing it goes here, which would be useful because that would be on the white dot. Yes, yes, yes. This is how it's going to work. So that's blue. Now that is consecutive with blue and can't be 4 or 5. So that's 2-7. And is not that coloured 2-7. So that's red 2-7. Which means that's red 2-7. Oh, I don't believe it. I just need something more. Oh, that's beautiful. So that's not 2-7 down there. That's now 1-8 as a pair. Which is huge. Because now, that being 1-8 rules 1-8 out of all these 9 cages. So this must be a 1-8-9 triple. This is just beautiful, isn't it? It's just beautiful. I've got 1-8-9 triple here, so that's not 9. So therefore, that's 9 in the box. That's on a palindrome, so that reflects here. Whoa, can't hit the 9. That's a 1-8, so that's a 9. I see what's happening now. So that's got to go there by palindrome. Which means that is not a 9. So this, oh, I see the 9s just fly around the grid now. And have I got 4 9s? Yes, I get a 9 in the middle. So look at that. I've got a circle of 9s. Isn't that pretty? With the 9 in the middle as well. Now, this 1-8 pair rules that out from being 1-8. So this is now a 2-7-9 cage. And I know the order by red and yellowness. So red and yellow go in. That rules out, we already knew 2 and 7 were ruled out up here. So, well, this feels useful, doesn't it? So what's the nature of that domino? It's not 2-7, it's not 3-6, and it's not 1-8, because we know that 1-8 and 8 are up there, so that is 4-5. And 4-5 we know are orange. One of them is orange, one of them is green. Which means one of those is green. It looks very like this is 4-5 to me, but I don't. Actually, I can prove it. I can prove it by thinking about this 1-8. So this can't be 3-6, it can't be 2-7, and it can't be 1-8, so it must be 4-5. And using this, we know the order. So that's orange, that's green. And now, that, look, needs to be 1-8 of all things. So we'll put that in. We haven't got colours for 1s and 8s yet, but don't worry, I will be fixing that momentarily. So that is now... Does this have to be 3-6 then, or can it be... No, that can't be 4-5, so this is 4-5. So this is 3-6. Therefore that's purple. That's the other colour of 3s and 6s, which is blue. That's got to not... That's orange. That's green. 1s and 8s we haven't coloured yet. Oh, this is exciting. So now that's a 1 or an 8 by the power of Sudoku. I don't like to overdo Sudoku in these puzzles. That can't be 1, 8 now. So this is 3, 6. I know the order. That's got to be the blue one. So that must be the purple one. What do I need in this row? I need an orange. So that's orange. What do I need in... Well, that's got to be green by the power of Sudoku. So that is a 1 or an 8 in the middle of a palindrome. Now this at the bottom can't be 2, 7, 1, 8 or 4, 5. So that's 3, 6. We're going to get... I think this is going to be a fully coloured grid today. We've got blue and purple. That's not 3, 6 anymore. So that's 2, 7. Oh, 2, 7. And I don't know the order. Oh no, I don't know the order. Ah! That's worrying. Those can't be 9. That's got to be a 2 or a 7. But look, that's marrying up here with an unknown digit. Naughty digit. That's a 2, 7. So there's symmetry with these 2, 7s and 1, 8s in boxes 1 and 9. This must be 3, 6. And at least I do know the order of that one. That's got to be the blue one. Oh, okay. So therefore, what are those? Oh, they're 1 and 8. So by palindrome, this is 1 or 8. Well, oh, here's a question. Where does red go in that column now? It's got to go there. So that's 2 or 7. And then that digit is 1 or 8. Hello again, Maverick. That digit's yellow by the power of Sudoku. So that digit's 1 or 8. Which means I must be able to put yellow in this column indeed. So it's just, oh, I see, even that being 1 or 8 is palindromically equivalent to this. So I've got to colour my 1s and 8s now. And the place where we shall initiate that... Ah, and actually, no, I'm going to finish colouring off my 2s and 7s because that's now become yellow. So that must be red. So that must be yellow. So that must be red. That must be yellow. That must be red. Oh, and I've seen how this is all going to get disambiguated as well, but I refuse to go any further until I have pencil. I want to colour in my 1s and 8s. I want a completely coloured grid. So I'm going to go for grey for that. Can I see the lines? Yes. Which means that... Oh no, maybe it doesn't tell me what that is. Okay, I'll go for black for the other 1, 8. So that's going to be grey. That's going to be black. That's going to be black. That means this must be black. This must be grey. That must be black. That must be grey. So this one is grey. That one's black. That one's grey. That one's black. Oh, no, that's fine. That's grey. That's grey. And those two have got to be black. And we've just got one uncoloured digit, which is 9. Sorry, 9. A completely startlingly coloured grid. And what's going to tell us the nature of the world is a 16 clue there, which surely can't be a 1 because those can't add up to 15. So now all of a sudden we know that that colour is 8 straight away, which means that the dark black is 1 straight away. And then we know those two have to add up to 8, so they're not 6 and 2. So this has got to be 3 and 5. So blue has become 3, which means that purple's become 6, green has become 5, orange has become 4. Oh, I see. And I was about to get worried about my 2s and 7s, but look, 6 is connected to yellow, and that means it's not 2. So that's 7. Red is 2. Ta-da! Yeah. Isn't that brilliant? What a beautiful puzzle. I mean, it's colourful and it's beautiful in that way, but it's actually lovely logic. It's really clever. I don't remember seeing this sort of using palindromes and then white dots and black dots connected together in a sort of perfect ratio to create a unique black dot relationship. It's a really clever idea. And then to use the 9 cage, because you then get a difference of 3 on the black dot, and it's sort of 3 9s and 4 5s in the white dots in the middle. To use the 9 cage is a very natural progression from that, and it's done so beautifully. That's just absolutely, it's an awesome puzzle. It really is. Eric, take a bow. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope everyone had a go at that, because that was approachable, and it was immense fun. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I do enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.